Good morning, second grade readers. So today is Thursday, April 30th. Tomorrow's May Day. Something special is going to happen on May Day. Parade Day. So let's move on with reading. So we were practicing fiction, and did you remember that fiction tells a story about imaginary characters that usually begins with a problem and ends with a solution, and that it often uses dialogue, talking back and forth between characters? So today we're going to enjoy this story, The Bravest Fish. It's by Matt Muckingham. And then we're going to kind of look and see if we can find those pieces. So I hope you enjoy this story. The Bravest Fish. Far below the waves, a little fish named Stanley lived with his school. They were the brightest, sparkliest fish of the deep, dark sea. One morning, Stanley woke up late. "Hello, it's me," he called to his friends. But the rest of the reef was very quiet. Suddenly, Stanley remembered that today was the day his school swam to cooler waters for the summer. "Jumping jellyfish," he groaned. He hurried to the meeting point as fast as his fins could carry him. But no one was there. As he looked around, he saw a bright light. "Aha! They haven't gone far," he said, and he raced towards the glow. But it was only a lobster counting coins. "Go away! Don't touch my treasure," the lobster growled, snip-snapping his claws. "I'm looking for my friends," said Stanley. "Fish," the lobster grumbled. "Those others were in such a hurry to find someone they upset my coins." "Others?" asked Stanley. "My friends." "Join them then," snarled the lobster, and Stanley sped off. Ahead of him, Stanley saw a shimmer. He could just make out a bright, sparkly fish. One of his friends. "Hello, it's me," he called, swimming faster. Clonk! Stanley crashed headfirst into something hard. "Jumping jellyfish," he cried. It wasn't one of his friends at all, but his own reflection on a shiny pearl. Stanley rubbed his bumped nose, feeling a little dazed. He didn't notice the dark shape coming up behind him. When he turned around, Stanley found himself staring straight into the mouth of a huge shark! "Ah!" Stanley shrieked. Over coral and under weeds he sped with the shark snapping at his tail. Finally, Stanley saw a small hole in the rock below. He dived down inside, just missed being gobbled up. Deep within the cave, Stanley shivered and shook. He felt sad and lonely. He was beginning to think he'd never see his friends again. "Well, I can't stay here forever," he said at last. Stanley poked his head out of the cave to see if the shark had left. "Jumping jellyfish," he squealed. The sea was a golden orange, glowing and glittering. It was the most wonderful sight he had ever seen, because there, in front of him, were his friends. "Hello, it's me," he called. "Stanley," his friends cheered. "Where have you been? We've been looking all over for you." And Stanley told them about his adventures as they swam off in one bright, sparkly, happy school. The end. So I know while you were listening to that story that you were thinking about all the parts that make up fiction. So let's look and see what we've discovered. The characters in the story. I bet you're saying Stanley. And I bet if you were writing it down like I am, you remember to put a capital because it's his name. Stanley. There was also the lobster. You're right. Stanley's friends. So, Stanley's friends. There you go. Super job. Now, can you tell me which one is the main character? Who is the story mostly about? Excellent work. It is Stanley. Super job. So now we're going to think about, what was the problem? Did you say Stanley's friends were gone, or Stanley left, or Stanley woke up and his friends weren't there? Yeah, so any way you put it is great. So I'm going to put, the problem was Stanley's friends left without him. Without him. That was a wraparound. I couldn't put my whole sentence on one page. I had to wrap it around to the next. But it's still just one sentence. Stanley's friends left without him. What was the solution? Did you say Stanley looked for his friends and he was looking for them? Did he succeed? And that's a sign for and if I'm a little too lazy to write it. And he found them. Yeah. Does it make you think what would have happened if Stanley had just stayed in his bed or stayed at his house? I wonder if he would have connected with his friends. And dialogue. Was there dialogue? Did the characters talk back and forth? Yes, they did. Super job. Excellent work. So today, you're going to read your story on Wonders and then do the questions at the end of the first story. See you tomorrow.